Hey guys, welcome back. We are in Virginia Key today because we are going to be doing a night ride. So we're starting just before sunset. The first few trails are going to be in the daylight, but in like 20 minutes it's going to be all dark. So complete setup with a light on the bars and a light on my helmet. At this point, you're either thinking, night riding, wow, that's cool, or what is wrong with this guy? Who would want to ride at night when you can ride during the day? After all, it is almost summer, and the days are getting much longer. With the sun setting in some places as late as 9 p.m., there's no need to ride at night. Well, today I want to make a case for night riding, because if you've never done it, you have no idea what you're missing out on. As we previously said, we started this ride before sunset, and if you're thinking about trying night riding, you probably should too. Seeing the lighting change as the sun comes down and the trails morph into darkness slowly will give you a chance to get a feel for how different things are when you can only see where your light is shining and not all around. Even before the sun is completely gone, the tree coverage will make it pretty dark pretty fast. Before you know it, you won't be able to see a thing without your lights.
A good light setup makes so much of a difference. The comparison between this and what I had before is just unbelievable.
Truth be told, the light on my bars is an exaggeration. The only reason I have it is because filming requires a lot more light than your eyes do. If I didn't make videos like this one, I'd definitely have a more reasonable light. There are, however, a few things you should know about a basic light setup for night riding. First, you don't need the most expensive lights out there. Don't let that be a point of discouragement. There are plenty of reasonably priced options that do very well. Some are a bit of a gamble when you're buying no-name stuff, and some come from well-recognized companies. I've seen people use both and speak well and badly about both options, so I can unfortunately not point you in a particular direction. If you're just starting and you don't want to spend too much, that's fine. Just make sure you get something that gives you enough light so you will be able to ride safely. You can always upgrade in the future. Second, one light is mandatory. 2 lights is best. You want one in your bars to act as a floodlight, that is to provide lighting to a wide area with no particular focus of intensity, and give you a general idea of your surroundings. And the second light on your helmet to act as a spotlight. This one will help you focus more lighting on the spot that actually matters, where you're going. Now there's a lot of discussion about which lights would be more powerful, and nobody agrees. I run the more powerful one on my bars, but you'll find plenty of people who would say that I'm wrong. The way I see it is that when there's no one in front of you, it's harder to get a good overall lighting and spotlight, which is why I prefer to place the lights this way. However, I'd encourage you to try both and figure out for yourself which best fits your needs. A bit ago, I mentioned that your helmet light is to see where you're going. In this stretch of trail, you can notice how my helmet light tracks the trail slightly before my bar light catches up. The twistier the trail, the more you will notice this. Think about switchbacks, for example. It takes a good amount of time for your bars to point where you're going. All through the transition of tipping in, your bars are pointing outwards, which means that if you have no helmet light, you won't see where you're going until you're actually pointing in that direction. And I don't know about you, but to me, that sounds a little bit scary. Because of this, night riding really forces you to practice looking through the turn and keeping your eyes looking further down the trail.
Oh, that is so loose. I hope I didn't stop you.
I unfortunately have to talk about the boring legalese as well. Night riding is subject to different rules in many places, so before you head out to the trails, you should do some research about the laws in your locality. At Virginia Key, for example, it's against city ordinances to be in the park after sunset. If you're riding here randomly at night, you're trespassing. It's a stupid way to get into trouble if you ask me. If you want to join in on the fun without any issues, the Virginia Key Bike Club organizes night rides where they take care of proper permits with the city and you can just come have fun. All you need to do is sign up for the yearly membership to support the trails, which is something like $20. I'm using VK as an example. Just make sure to do your research and make the right call for your trails. And there, boring legalese over. Now, there's a few reasons why I love night riding, but my number one is because it makes common trails exciting again. You know, after a while of riding your local trails, you can kind of cruise through on autopilot. Night riding completely takes that away. It's like riding in a completely new spot. Regardless of how many times you've done the trails, you'll find yourself noticing that the features that you do constantly creep up on you out of nowhere. and its sections that you don't pay much attention to regularly have you on your toes. It's almost like traveling to a new location, and the cost is just waiting a few hours for the sun to go down.
Nice. Well, if there's a good first time to hit the wall ride, it's definitely at night. At least you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Joking aside, that's a pretty stupid idea. Spot your features before you send it. Anyhow, back to the subject. My point is that the experience is so different that even the trails you ride the most will feel foreign to you, and it'll bring you a lot of that new trail fun. Another great thing about night riding is that it is in itself a filter. You won't find crowded trails when riding at night. Only people that suffer from the same lack of reason that you do will be out here. And that's a great way to make like-minded friends, or enjoy a quiet ride, depending on what you're going for. While this only applies to those of us that live in warm climates, night riding is a phenomenal way to deal with those ridiculously hot summer days. There's a reason people in Arizona and Florida, for example, are so fond of night rides. When it's 100 degrees out during the day, those 80-degree nights seem like a cool winter day. Do remember though, each place has its own wildlife, so don't forget to respect them, both due to coexistence and for your own safety. Depending on where you live, there will be different things to look out for. If you're unsure of something, consult with local groups. Usually people are really helpful in this sense. Also, don't hit the rocks on the side of the trail.
Sorry about that. Yeah, big pedal strike.
For the locals watching this, there's an added bonus as you get to ride the trails backwards. I don't know if this applies to all places where the trails flow well in both directions but are mandated in one direction. At least at BK, part of the night ride is to ride it backwards, which once again feels like a completely new place. This was actually my first time riding this trail, Highway to Hell, backwards, and it proved to be quite the challenge. This section in particular coming up with the rocks was actually very tricky, as it's kind of slow and techy, and from this side, it looks completely different than from the other.
There we go. And nice. No.
And so it seems that I'm going to have to come back for that one. I didn't try it again that day, but I am 100% sure that it's doable. As a matter of fact, Angel, who's in front of me here, got it. And until I do too, I'm just gonna say it's because he was on the 29er and I'm not.
Oh, shit. I was not expecting a bridge.
I hope that I've at least nudged you closer to finding yourself out on the trail at night. With the right group of people, it's an incredibly challenging, fun, and rewarding experience that will open up a new world of mountain biking for you. If you're watching this and you're already a regular night rider, make an effort to help those who are interested in trying it out. Well guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope you had fun coming along on this night ride. I will see you for the next one, and happy riding.
Nice. That was fun.
Good job.
That was fun.
Fucking scary.